Um, so I think we saw after the first 10 to 15 minutes where both teams were trying to find themselves and just fighting and looking intensity, putting intensity and duels. We saw an interesting first half from Mamelodi Sundowns, more close to what we want to have in the future. Um, Leaving the spirit that is important to live in such matches a little bit or much more aggressive on the duels, much more quick on the ball, much more close to each other, much more availability to play, um, rather than we saw on the last two matches. I think we had good first half, control of the match, much well indeed understanding where to play and how to play. There was a little bit lack of aggressivity in the back of the defense because the line of Kaizer Chiefs was pretty high, pressing us from the goalkeeper. As soon as we found those spaces, we stretched them a little bit. We took control. We started to find both spaces outside, in between lines, in the back, and from there, I think the game because became much more interesting, and the football started to appear in the pitch. Second half intention was obviously to keep it the same. After first 5 minutes, I think we took it again during a period of time, and I think that with the fatigue, and we discussed that on the previous match, we started also to leave a little bit some emotions that came from the past in the last 15 minutes, and then the game became very open, very risky for both teams, with a lot of game here and there, and game here and there. That is very beautiful, probably for the fans, but not so healthy for the heart of the coaches, because then the game can fall for any side. And I think that is the moment that Kaizer Chiefs had, of course, their opportunities with these balls these dribblings, these balls that cross and that can appear on center. But I think the team of Mamelodi Sundowns was very honest the way they understood the moment, the last moments of the game. The substitutions gives us some energy to cope with that. I think that still a little bit to go, but better. So congratulations for the players to understanding how to play this kind of games in the conditions we are. What is obviously satisfying to see.
We thank Coach Cardoso, and we go straight to the mic. There'll be a roving mic and will not interrupt you questions and comments. We just gonna let the mic flow. I'm not going to enter in the matter. Let's go.
Coach Benjamin Yorenda here. Coach, do you think this draw and this match is a job-saving match for you? To say your job is safe after this draw?
Next question, please. Next question.
Thank you, Coach.
Don't joke with me, sir, please. Next question.
Yes, Coach, looking at just the stats of the game in terms of the XG and everything, Chiefs having more clear or better chances. What would you say about your team, especially in the final third, in terms of trapping the opponent?
I didn't see the stats of the game. I think it's just you saying that they had better chance or more chances. I have to see the game. After I see it and I can make accountability on the chances, I will be able to answer you better. I think both teams had chances, both teams had moments. Probably in the first half we had more control of the game. In second half, the game was more divided. As I said, it's not the game we like to play. We like to have a controlled game always, so that we can build the game the way we want to play it, and obviously create our chances. You know that we are not a team of counterattack that just throws ball in the front. We are a team that wants to play the game from the beginning until the end. That's basically our way to build. That's how we train. That's how we work, and that's how I love the football. That's how I identify myself with the way to play it. That's how Mamelodi Sundowns identifies with the way of playing it, and you try to build our occasions from there. When you play an away match in a team that is like Kaizer Chiefs, you should expect that the games are divided. You should expect that the games are tough, well played, and that's what we saw today. A beautiful game between two teams that fight it a lot. The teams that are in two different moments. One team comes from three victories. We come from two draws. Uh, in matches that we were winning. So it's expectable that the team in the last minutes or in the last 10 to 15 minutes start to think about what happened to us in the previous game. So that can bring some emotions that are not the best ones to leave when we are playing football, because it brings in some uncertainty, some doubt. But I think the guys had that capacity to fight honestly on those moments. Obviously, that I expect us to have matches control from the beginning till the end, but I also expect the opponents to continue to fight, and that's the level. I think obviously that the teams are more balanced in this moment. I hope that not only until the end of the window, but with the work we are doing, growing players and having availability of players, that we can become stronger. But it's obvious that the teams are more balanced in this moment because of the work that has been done by everybody.
Coach Mascata from can you, if you are able to, coach, maybe create your, you know, your chance creation, the process in it? Because I mean, I'm looking today, and most of the chances, Salah's edge of the box. That's where most of the chances came from. Today we didn't get behind a lot, even though you're saying that they're not a counter-attacking team. So then, what becomes the process in that chance creation, especially in the final third?
I don't really understand your question. Where you want to arrive? If you want to clarify, if you want me to speak about technical question, is that what you want? I invite you to come to watch our training sessions, and you can probably understand how to create chances and how to play and how we want to build. It's not in a press conference that we explain how we train to create chances, but obviously that when you have a high line like you had in the first half, mostly from Kaizer Chiefs, you need to have players that ask balls in the back, but you need to build and create the moment that you release a player out of the pressure, so that then you can use the spaces on the back. Of course, we asked the players in the front. I don't know if you understood how our players played or how they position compared to what they usually do or what they did in the previous matches, and that had to do exactly with asking players also making movements on the depth to control it. And we had from outside, we had it from inside, and we had players that had capacity to aggress from outside, and we had players that tried to aggress from the inside. Ikram is a player that goes very well on the spaces, but the center backs from Kaizer Chiefs also understood when to take out the spaces from the back. So when even being high, when was the moment that the ball was free, so that they had to take off the spaces. And the players in the front, in the middle, they had to cover the ball as much as possible. So it seems that is simple, but football is not that simple. In a game like that, like this, for both teams, very tough matches. Both teams pressing a lot not to allow those spaces to appear. And ultimately, you have to deal with the characteristics of the players you have and the selection of players we have. Because if you wanted a lot of runs in the back, probably the players we would buy would not be Salas, Tashrik, Nikram would be different profiles. But if we play and we recruit players for the football we want to play, and everybody is obviously aware of what style of play has Mamelodi Sundowns.
The shorter, the narrower the questions, and more questions we can take. So let's make it short and spot on, leader.
Coach, over here. Kamukholo Matatswane for Soccer Duma. Coach, I wanted to find out, last game you alluded to how the rest of the teams in the country have had more time to prepare for the season. You've now had 3 draws in a row, and maybe you haven't had the adequate time to prepare. But when can the fans, I guess, expect your team to click more cohesively, if I can say?
More what? Sorry.
Like have a better play cohesively, play.
Man, sorry, but I really don't understand the question, but I can try to understand. We draw twice with the Orlando Pirates, and we draw with Kaizer Chief. That was the first position in the table. I don't see us drawing games against teams from third division or second division. What you expect that this kind of games is always to arrive here and give them 5? Respect by the opponents, respect, because you are not respecting. To me, you are respecting me, but probably you are not respecting the teams. You are making them much worse than they are. I think you're not respecting the teams that we played against, that are very big teams. Last year, Orlando Pirates made the semifinal of the Champions League. I would like to remember. We played with them twice. We didn't lose. Of course, we wanted to win, and we were 2 times winning, even away. And I don't seem that we were worse than Orlando Pirates. And with all the respect, but also we were not worse here. A team that reinforced a lot, that keeps the work, that has in front of their fans 60,000 people in the stadium. And we also have our moments to control the match. Ah, please, why am I obliged to win every match and be charged by that, and the other people can draw, and we are not charged the same way?
Thank you, Coach. There are many hands. We're going to take only three so that we can move on to the next one. We'll start with Mark. You can take it up. Mark.
Coach, can I ask you about Kikana wasn't here and Luca? Are there serious injuries? Will they be available for Stellenbosch?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you very much, because I see that during the week there was a lot of issues regarding coach not putting this player to play and that player to play, and it's Motovi and it's Masek and it's this and that, but people don't know nothing. And people should sometimes just trust that people inside the club like Mamelodi Sundowns work very hard with big respect by the players we have, understanding which players can and should play. No one knows that Motobi Mbala had a setback on his knee. No one knows. But they are charging me because the coach don't put Motobi Mbala to play. But don't forget that there are more 5 or 6 players on the position. And that is the respect that I have for my players. Kekana, you saw how he played last match, that he suffered, he struggled inside the pitch, he handled, but he had a knock, big strong knock on the knee. Those things are small. Thank God, Motobi is training normal. Grant will return to training sessions quickly. We are recovering Tembazwane. Maseko had an injury. He was assessed today. I still don't know the results of the injury that he had. He had an injury on the match with the Orlando Pirates. Divine Lunga finished the match with Orlando Pirates, as you saw, with a big contusion on the ribs. So we also made an assessment on him today. I don't know exactly the result of the scan. Coaches and doctors and physios and the performance department, we are not sleeping. We are respecting. And you can also ask why Miguel took out Moreno when he was playing so well. Yeah, but Moreno could not finish the match. Otherwise, he would risk. For you to know, I already risked more than the indications I had from the medical department in terms of his use on the match. I risked more already. And this is also the respect that we as coaches, we as department performers, as doctors, as that we demand and we need to have from people, not charging us because making presumptions or thoughts when there are reasons for us to make things. And that's exactly what we need to do every day, what we do to do every day regarding the management of the team.
Thank you, Coach. Java, if you can prepare the next coach. You've been holding for too long. We'll take the last 2 questions and we move.
Good evening, Coach. Nick Leeson for Backlash Media. I wanted to ask you about Maibonga Koza. How impressed were you with his performance this evening? And we saw him play in the midfield for Bafana Bafana Chan. Is that somewhere we could see him playing in Sundown's jersey, or is he firmly in your eyes a defender?
Thank you very much for the question, because this is an approach positive, because it seems that people just see the dark side of the moon, but there's a bright side of the moon sometimes at least. Thank you very much for the question, because Malimbong Koza, he just arrived from the national team. He played very well in another position, and we had no problems to put him to play, and he played very well. And this is exactly what we do, is trust. How many times I spoke about trust inside our locker room? Is that the player comes and we have no problems because we trust. And they just have to give answers. Because when we trust and they give answers, they are more close to repeat and to play. I'm very happy by the performance that he had. I confess to you that despite the injury from Grant, despite also Musa being conditioned, he was on the bench, but he had to take painkillers so that if we need him, he would play. Already he had that in the previous match, but he gave his best when he entered. We knew what kind of speed players we would have to play against from Kaizer Chiefs. How? And you look the striker they put it. Look, when they substituted, they put it probably the quickest player on the PSL to play in the front. So we knew what kind of center backs we needed for this game. And that's also that management of people, that management of human beings, that management of players that we need to do, and we try to do with the best rationality that we can in order to produce results. And when results are not what the fans want, what we want, we don't stay happy. But we respect our work very much, because we do really seriously work every day. And just people should have the respect for people that work seriously every day.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, how, I mean, you've expressed quite a lot here. How are you handling that in this team, a draw is seen as the end of the world because of the dominance that they've had
But this case I really didn't understood. Do you mind?
Like, how are you handling the situation that you find yourself in this club where a draw is treated as some sort of loss or the end of the world because of what they've done in the past?
Yeah, but part of the past was also done by me with the players since I arrived. I remember that this club for 10 years didn't arrive in a final of Champions League, and we did it. And we kept winning the championship. And we broke all the records in the PSL, I think, except one. So this is the respect that was done also for the work that people that arrived in the club, not just by the ones that were here. Everybody works very hard every day, and we demand respect for the work we did, because this is also the trust that we have inside the club, because there's a big commitment, a big trust between everybody inside Mamelodi Sundowns. And it's important to understand that. Everybody wants to win every match, but no team wins every matches. And if you are really fair to the people that work in Mamelodi Sundowns, to the coaching staff, to the technical department, to the sports direction, you understand that the team that played the World Cup is not the same team that's playing now, because the impact of the players that were absent is so big in the team that we need to rebuild. And rebuild is done in the moment with players that some of them are still young, that last year almost didn't play. And we are rebuilding over that. And we are happy to do it and pleased. And we're going to arrive where we want to arrive, because we know which direction we are going very well, believe me. And we are so committed on that work. We are so strong inside the club. And we will become stronger. And victories will follow one after the other, because it's the nature. It will happen. But it's not easy for a team to have the schedule that we have. It's not easy. I would like to see any other team to have the schedule that we are facing and what results they would face. But we are strong. We are very strong. It's not me that is strong. We are strong, because my strength comes from the support I have for my club, from the support I have from the real fans, from the ones that are there every day that I went to salute today. That is the strength that this Mamelodi Sundowns has. The big commitment on the values that we have inside the locker room, that I myself have on my life, that we have as technical staff, and that the sports direction, together with the chairman and the board of the club, instigate, incentivate, and produce every day as a way of living together. And this is the South Africa that I found when I arrived here. A country of values, a country of people that respect the others, a country where I felt so welcome and I felt so nice to live. And I brought my family to know, because I said from the first day to my papa and my mama, what country I found, what people I found, so gentle, so kind, so full of love. And I hope that I just continue to live that, because that's what I deserve also.
On that note, Coach Cardoso, we thank you and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, members of the media.
Thank you.